All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Buka here, and I'm going to teach you how to set up Android Studio. It's a pretty simple process. We'll just go ahead and get to a web browser, and we'll quickly search for Android Studio. And, versions may change here and there, but I'm working with the version that's out in March of 2018. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on the link. Now make sure we're going to developer.android.com because they are the ones who officially create and support Android Studio. It's pretty simple. It's right there. So we'll go ahead and we'll click that. And if you haven't read through one of these yet, you definitely are going to want to make sure you do. Once you do, you have to click OK and move on. We'll save that file, and I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to wait for the download here. Okay, now that that's downloaded, I'm just going to go ahead and take a look in my downloads folder. And right here is the executable. We're going to go ahead and launch that. Now the process is pretty simple. I wouldn't change any of the directories where it's going to install unless you have some specific need. But basically it's going to be a next, yes, next, and install sort of procedure. I'm going to pause in between also so that you don't have to watch my computer think. So I just allowed the app to make changes to my computer, and then I'm going to go ahead and shuffle on through this. Now that the setup was completed successfully, I'm going to click Next, and I will allow it to start the Android Studio just so we can make sure that it's working. I'm not going to import any settings. I have some other IDEs, but I'm just going to leave it alone. And then Android Studio will start to boot and turn on here shortly. And we can see we can program lots of different types of things with Android. Okay, now that everything is successfully installed, we'll go ahead, and you have some options here, but probably the easiest way to do it is just start a new, and you can go through the process. We'll just click Next. We're not going to do too much here. I can set up some tutorials for how to actually use Android and stuff, but for now, we're just going to go ahead and open it and make sure that it properly works. You can go ahead and pick an empty activity. Click Next, and then Finish. And this way we can make sure that the application has correctly installed on here. Now in a couple future videos, I will teach you how to create a program and to run it on an AVD, which is a visual or virtual device, Android virtual device on your computer, so you don't even have to have an Android device. And then I will teach you how to install the driver for your particular Android device if you have one, and then to program so that it goes directly to your Android device and you can test it on a real device. And then we might end up moving into something that will allow you to program an Android program and make it compatible for iOS at the same time. Save yourself a lot of grief. As you can see, Android Studio takes a little bit of moving at first. It's sped up quite a bit since its first days, but it's still a pretty intensive program, so it may be a little bit slower than what you're used to if you've used something like Eclipse. But it does a lot of work for you as well, so that's why we use it. So there you go. You can see that it's opened. Definitely go ahead and take a look and explore if you're used to Eclipse. It isn't completely different. But there are obviously some differences in how we build projects and whatnot. Again, we'll go over that in the future. I will create a video that will get us doing our first activity, and then it will run on an AVD, Android Virtual Device. We'll move from there to getting that same program to work on a real Android device, and perhaps even further into that.